What up, everybody, and welcome to Baz on Blades. My name is Baz, and I talk about blades, and today we're going to talk about a throwaway knife. And by throwaway, I mean extremely cheap, and if you lose it or have to throw it away, it's no big loss. I know you've already seen the title of the video. You know that we're going to be talking about an Ozark mountain product here. This is a Wal-Mart product. And if you guys are just like me, you are probably a follower of the YouTube channel Birdshot 4. That is Frankie and Bird over there at Birdshot 4. A big shout out to them. And they have done in the past, basically, I think for shits and giggles, a bunch of reviews on Wal-Mart brand knives, Ozark Trails knives. And I saw this little knife in the Walmart, my local Walmart, and thought to myself, that's actually a decent looking design. You can see I have not opened this packaging. I have not handled this knife. I do not know anything about it at all. So my mindset with this knife, as with everything else, is there are niches within life that can be filled with the correct tools. And a cheap throwaway knife like this is one of those tools. Even though, as knife enthusiasts, we may not consider this as something that we would buy normally. And by cheap, I mean $4.87 American greenback currency. $4.87. In my area, that gets you out the door with a brand new knife for $5.30 something after sales tax. When is the last time that any of you spent just $5 on a knife? Well, I can tell you the last time for Baz on Blades, it was today. And that's the only time. I do not recall any time in my life, even when I was young, that I spent just $5 on a knife. But I do think this is an intriguing design. And I think for a throwaway, it is going to be something that is maybe, I'm not going to say whether it's decent, good, bad, or anything, but it will fill that niche. Now, let's look at some features here. What do we have? We have, it's got a blade, it's got a rubberized handle, and it's got a sheath. Nowhere on this packaging, anywhere, will you find mention of blade steel. In fact, I looked on the Walmart website. There's the barcode if any of you guys are intrigued by this knife and want to pick one up. I looked on the Walmart website at the product description, and it never even says stainless steel. So this could be ground up Pakistani rusty car bumper steel. It is probably Chinese steel, because I'm sure this is, you know, it's made in China. See, made in China. So I'm going to guess this is a stainless steel, and it's somewhere along the lines of a 3CR or 5CR level of stainless, which will be moderate carbon content, sort of in the 420 stainless range, I would assume. So yeah, let's go ahead and cut this bad boy open. Again, we're going to get the proper tool in here. I hate this kind of packaging. It is the worst packaging to try to open with another knife. I think it's dangerous to open this type of packaging with another knife. You could actually cut yourself, and I don't mean just joking around, you could cut yourself, but this type of packaging is just the shittiest packaging overall. So we just got a bunch of crap on our background there, backdrop. Let's pull this knife out, come over here to the other. I'm gonna cut this off of camera so I don't get more junk on the backdrop there. Now this is a 7-inch knife. In fact, that is how you will find it described on both the packaging and the website. Okay, it is a 7-inch fixed blade knife. So if you go to Walmart.com and you look up 7-inch fixed blade knife, this is what's going to come up. So let's throw that packaging away and let's get this tip guard off of here. I want to sort of curious. That's okay. So what do we have here, Baz on Blades? That actually feels really good in my medium-large hands. There are some finger choils here. It is a rubberized fill and handle. You do have some very good jimping up here. Actually, very, very good jimping. Let's take a look at my thumb here. You can see the jimping pattern. It is a blocky cutout, nice, wide open, plenty deep enough to get flesh down in it to hook onto your finger. So I'm pretty happy about that. It's not super thick. Let's get some measuring instruments out here. Okay, not prepared for this review. You know, I don't want to say this is a joke review. It is not a joke review. It's a very serious review for the purpose of this tool, which is, again, a throwaway knife. I've already seen that it's comfortable in my medium-large hands. So, I know it'll be comfortable to use. The edge feels... the edge is actually usable out of the box. It is sharp. I don't feel a burr on it. The point is usable, although a resharpen would improve the pointiness of the point. But you can see the edge there. You got a little bit of recurve here at the base of the edge. No sharpening choil. It is what it is. This oil is like sticky, thick, yucky oil. You have to clean that off. And the rubberized handle material, I don't know if it's slabs of hard rubber or if it's plastic with like a rubberized coating over it that will later come off. I hope that is not the case. I hope that it's a hard rubber, although it's a little clicky. It's a little clicky there, so it's a hard material. It could be hard plastic over molded with a coating. I hope it's not. You've got a black wash finish here on this hollow ground blade. Again, it's a 7-inch knife. You've got a 3-inch blade, a 4-inch handle. I did pull out my measuring stick here so we could throw some metric at our European friends that, bless their hearts, they just have not come to the light yet and come to the Great American Standard System. That's 7.5 centimeters on the blade length and just over 10 centimeters on the handle length for an overall of about 17.5 plus or minus centimeters long. And let's pull up some calipers here. Re-zero calipers here. Yeah, about 1/8 of an inch on the blade stock, 129 thousandths on the blade stock. And let's go to metric. And that is 3.35 millimeters. Again, bless your heart if you have not come over to the light and to the American Standard System. Let's go here weight-wise, 109 grams with the sheath, 130. And then 4.59 ounces with the sheath, 3.84 ounces without the sheath. All right, there is all of our specifications, and this cramp on this is bugging the shit out of me. Anyway, so 3-inch blade, 4-inch handle. It's really is very good feeling in my hands. Now, when we have more than one finger choil, we start complicating the handle. It can cause an issue for people with hand sizes that will not fit it. I do not think this is good for extra large hands. But if you've got small to regular large hands, I think this will work. If you have a young man or a young woman in your life, a child that is getting to the age where they may want their first knife, and you know that it needs to be small and it needs to be cheap, because they are not going to know safety, they are not going to know how to take care of something yet, and they need something to learn with, this would be good for that. Hey, let's get one more measurement here. That's a pretty thin handle, 439 thousandths, and that is 11.1 millimeters. So it's pretty thin. It's you know what? It's a good little design. Again, you know, when you start adding finger choils, you could run into issues there. But in the blade, we've basically got sort of a modern stylized clip point. It is hollow ground again, and behind the edge, well, it's no Civivi, I'll tell you that right now, because you know Civivi grinds their knives to where you can see through the edge. So let's see what we got going here. Let's see where we fall off on this. I missed it, guys, sorry. I'm trying to see where I fall off of the blade thickness onto the grind. Looks like 0.56 millimeters, 22 thousandths. So we're about 22 thousandths, and that's going to put it right at, say, like a paramilitary tube. They usually go about 20 to 23 thousandths behind the edge, from my experience, on that hollow grind. And I think with the edge that it has, workable out of the box, although it could stand some resharpening. It's, you know, it's all right. It's all right. I mean, for $4.87, what do you expect? Let me tell you what Baz on Blades expects out of this. And while I'm talking about that, we're going to take a look at this sheath. It is an injection molded sheath, hard plastic. Okay, there is good retention on it, okay? You do have a ledge here to push off with your thumb. Oh, that's actually pretty stout, guys. That is pretty stout retention right there. It was actually a little uncomfortable to try to push that off. So as that wears in, as the plastic wears against the knife, instead of becoming too loose, it'll probably break into just the perfect place. It's a nice compact sheath. You know, injection molded here. If it's a fiber reinforced plastic, I'm sure it's going to be, I mean, just like anybody else. Just think cold steel. They do a lot of fiber reinforced injection molded sheaths. You do have some lashing holes. There are no rivets and no brass or steel rivets, or eyelets, I'm sorry, eyelets in there. It is just a plastic. But there is, at least in my sample, there is plenty enough retention here for me to use this knife as I thought I would, and that would be a very small, fairly lightweight fixed blade strapped handle down on one of my pack straps on a small day hike pack. I don't want anything big for just a little day hike, you know, out and back, just a few miles just to get out in nature. But I do need something to be able to cut with. I do want to carry a fixed blade with me, even though I'll also have a folder in my pocket. I hardly ever go anywhere without a folder in my pocket. But my intent with this was to do that. Now, that said, we've got some sort of inset wankiness going on with this pocket clip. It's pretty stout. It's pretty stout, but I noticed something right here. It is not co-molded with the sheath. You can see there's some sort of joiner here. Let's get this out and see if we can see on the inside. There's, some sort of joiner here, and I don't have my glasses on, so I can't hardly see down in there. I'll have to go back and watch the video. But you can pretty much count on this clip breaking off sooner or later. So, whatever way you mount this knife, do not rely on just that clip, or you will be out your worldly fortune of $4.87 if it breaks and you lose the knife. What I would do is, like on my pack, I've got some webbing on the straps. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run the clip through the webbing, and then I'll take some cord and I will run through these eyelet areas and lash it to the pack. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I will also run, somehow I will affix a rubber band to the sheath, and then I will pull that rubber band up here and I will wrap it one time around the handle. That way there is a secondary retention for the knife in the sheath. In case it falls out, the rubber band will catch it. And no, that's not going to hold it forever. What a rubber band does is it makes it bounce around and you feel it before it drops away. So there you go. That is a technique that was created by Baz on Blades when he saw somebody else mention it on the interwebzors. All right. Now, what could you use this knife for? Well, I think even though they do not mention the blade steel, they do not even mention that it's stainless steel, I think we could say that it's probably a cheap, very high chromium stainless steel, which will affect edge retention, which we'll get into here in a little bit. But I want to talk about some different uses. I would throw this in my tackle box. I would throw it in my toolbox. Places where it's going to sit and only be used occasionally. I think that the size and being full tang construction, I think that it would be good for a very cheap sort of secondary knife. Say you want to buy 2 or 3 of these and you want to stash them all over the place, your bug out bag, your whatever, at your cabin in the woods, if you're lucky enough to have one, in your boat, if you're lucky enough to have one, in your truck, if you're lucky enough to have one, because when you got a truck, you're so lucky because you can help everybody move every time they get kicked out of their house. The joys of owning a truck. But what I'm saying is, you can, for $4.87, for $5, you can buy, for $20, you buy 4 of these, $20, you buy 4 of them, and you just put them everywhere. Even if it's not something that's going to have any cachet value, you're not going to, do any meet and greets and pull this out, and people are going to go, ooh, what custom maker made that? You're the coolest person here because you've got that. Women are not going to throw themselves at your feet, guys. And for you 1.5 ladies that are subscribed to my channel, men are not going to chase you down and drag you away to paradise just because you have this knife. Even though it is a good design. I mean, if I ran across somebody that was carrying this knife or had it thrown in their tackle box or toolbox or whatever, I would not think bad at all about this. This is a competently designed, competently manufactured little knife. I mean, there's, it's not super extremo flush, but it's just barely a nail catch here at the joiner between the handle scales and the tang. And again, full tang knife. Even if the scales turn into crap and they melt off, or they start screwing up somehow, you could take the scales off and it's still a full tang knife. It's got a little bit of weight to it. It wasn't quite 4 ounces, but I would not imagine there's a whole lot of skeletonizing or lightening there. It is, yeah, it's up here in the finger choil. It is totally handle heavy. You got to come see, even back on that. This is about where we are here to balance it out, right here, just behind this first finger choil. It's not bad at all. It's not bad at all. It feels substantial in the hand. Again, it's comfortable in my medium-large hands. That jimping, the spot the jimping is, you can see I can extend my thumb out. My thumb is not compressed up into my hand, making it feel like an extremely small knife. It feels like a workable tool even. That's actually, of course I know everything there is to know about knives, and I could tell just by looking at it that it would work that way, because I'm a famous international YouTube knife reviewer and all of that stupid bullshit that doesn't really matter. I'm very happy about that. I was afraid that the jimping, even though it looked good in the packaging, I was afraid it would be rolled and a little soft, but it's not. That is fabulous. There's a lot of knife companies that make multiple $100 fixed blades that do not have this good of jimping on them. So there you go for $4.87. For a throwaway knife, I think it's really good. Now, we're going to segue into blade steel and performance. We have no idea. We have no idea. I could not. If anybody can take that barcode I showed you and find out what the blade steel is, then drop down in the comment section and let the rest of us know. But I'm sure it is a very cheap Chinese stainless. It is probably going to be along the lines of a 420. I wouldn't even say a 420 high carbon. I would say about a 420, which in Chinese, that's going to be your 3CR, 5CR sort of range. And, that's a blade steel that many brands have used. Columbia River, I believe they still have some knives in their lineup that's in 5CR. And I want to say that even Kershaw in some of their Chinese-made offerings has used 5CR and maybe 3CR in the past. So I think that's about the level we're looking at as far as the blade steel performance. Let's look at this black wash finished, and it's not the best looking finish, but you know what? For $4.87, again, $5, guys, $5. I think we're getting $5 worth of fantastic design, even if we're not getting any more as far as materials go. Throwaway knife, guys. Throwaway knife. And this is let's set this down here. I don't want to go on and on and on about this little knife. I did throw the packaging across the room. So let's take a look again. You're looking at a 7-inch fixed blade knife. That is actually what the knife is named, titled, the description, whatever. Come back here and let's pull this barcode up. But if you go to the Walmart.com and just do a search for 7-inch fixed blade knife, this knife is going to be like one or two in the list of what comes up. And I'm pleasantly surprised by how decent this is for $4.87. Given the limitations of the materials, of course. I think that you are getting your money out of the design. It's such a compact little package, really. There's a lot of companies out there, even Chinese-made product from higher-end companies, that if you bought this size of fixed blade knife, even though it would be in better materials, there's plenty of companies out there doing knives like this for $30, $40, $50, $100, $200. You get into an American-made product. Say if Tops Knives made a product like this in $10.95, you're looking at around $100 to maybe $130 in this price range, depending on the handle material and the sheath design, whatnot. So for $5, I think this is absolutely 100% a winner for $5. I'm telling you, 100% a winner for $5. Walmart, guys, come on. They're taking over the world. What part of it Amazon is not taking over? So there you go, with our crap all over the table. I apologize for all of that stuff. But I think I am pleasantly surprised by this knife. I'm going to throw one in my toolbox, and I'm going to throw one in my tackle box at least. I don't know that I'll buy any more than that, but for somebody else that needs a good throwaway with a good design that is workable, it's solid, it's a good design, again, questionable material, of course, at that price point, but I think that it is a workable design considering the $5 price point. Okay, as always, thank you very much for taking the time to watch one of my videos, even one on a throwaway knife. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please drop down in the comment section and tell me how much I suck because I'm reviewing a $5 knife. I'm sure I will be certainly entertained by it. Anyway, as always, thank you for taking the time to watch one of my videos. God bless all of you, and we will talk to you again.